Evening, wherever you are in the world today. I hope you're absolutely fantastic. I'm still riding high with the whole victory for America and the world. I'm sure you are too. This is just a message to say that I'm closed. Well, I've just recently closed my position over here. There's some reasons for it, and I'm just going to pull the MTOPS strategy back into play just so we can talk to it piece by piece. So in terms of trend direction, I see that things are slowing down on the higher frame, so that's a good reason to close. 20-point spacing, we've got the next high being located where it should be inside the cycle, which is great. The scaling, we've got up to this bandwidth over here, this R curve. I'm just going to skip down there, I suppose. So this R curve and fan line is where that's where price turn around at. Okay, so right there. Going back down to from the top, kill zone doesn't apply anymore, but the story was pretty accurate. It nominated that line, and that's exactly where it ended off as well. So that's super powerful stuff once you get to understand how that works. Time projection, I left this arrow down a while back, and that's pretty much where price decided to cross at. Okay, so again, this is laid down well ahead of time. All right. I pressed caps lock instead of the tab key. Anyway, so cube root also came out into this area, so that double confirmation worked out. I think the cube root actually was more accurate. It landed up being, I think, 32 or something to that effect. Let's just double check for a second. It says 40, so let's put in 40. Okay, so 32. No, I was wrong. 32 ends out. It's a bit too far. So it would have been the one underneath that. Anyway, where are we on our... I've just woken up, so I'm just doing this after kind of jumping out of bed and going, well, I've got to close this position. Oscillator is now switched. Okay. Price projection has got to this fourth arc over here. So I think the point I'm trying to make is that not only can the MTOP system open up trades efficiently with all the other benefits that I've made mention to, but it also tells you where to close the position with a responsible process as to why to close it. A lot of guys close their positions too soon because they think they've made enough money. Then they get agitated by it because the price will keep on going, and there's all that opportunity loss that didn't land for them. So that's something I like to avoid as well, which is the reason why I go through the checklist, and the checklist is there to kind of help me with the charting side of things. So is it a good idea to open up a trade now? But also, is it a good idea to close a trade now? Both are very, very important. The market can do a ton of different things. It can run and it can go to the moon. But what's relevant to each trader is exactly where they got in and exactly where they got out. So for those reasons, you want to have a system and a checklist to really empower you to make sure that you've got the best entry at the best time, the best price, but also when to get out of that position so you've maximized its earnings. Even if, like me, you've just missed the opportune price points up top. I got out over here just a few minutes ago. Then you're at least profiting from the majority of that move. It's only relevant to you when you get in and where you get out. The market is just something for you to be able to do that with, I suppose. And finding out the best places to get in and get out relies on a solid strategy. For example, this one right here, as well as your understanding of the market through a unbiased system, through the method of the market, which just takes the pressure and the ownership and the struggle off of your shoulders and then offset into something else that you don't have to feel responsible for, because it's the system, it's the method, it's the strategy that you can put your faith in, I suppose, or your belief, rather than putting too much pressure on yourself and then psyching yourself up and getting emotionally involved and getting into revenge trading and a whole bunch of negative downstream effects from just messing up. Like, a lot of people feel like they need to get back the money that they've just lost. So they just like say, like, F it, I'm just going to open up another position, and then that's going to make up at least what I lost to bring me back to break even. But often it doesn't work out either, because the new position wasn't opened on strong fundamentals, strong technicals, and all the other attributes that provide the right way to get into a market. And then the second position now also runs into a loss, and then the spiral begins. So again, it's really, really, really necessary to have something like this work for you. And then if you want to go the distance and take it to the professional trader level, also have it include the risk reward ratios, because that's super important as well as the trade dynamics, so that you're not the one taking on the burden of when to get in, when to get out. However, you're also not putting your reliability onto someone else's signals, someone else's calls, someone else's choice of markets. You're being completely independent and empowered, so that you're able to operate anywhere at your own schedule based on your own skill set. And again, all of the skill set stuff can be learned. The independence, though, however, is something that is kind of priceless. So here's just another live example of my operation in action on live market conditions. And if you haven't been there for the previous videos, I called this market move before it happened. I put the time in which the price was going to stop at and turn around, which is accurate, as well as the price level. The price level is kind of the variable depending on market conditions. So it could have gone all the way to the top, but if you get in before this move happens, which I did, and it's all recorded on third-party verification, in other words, my TradingView profile, then you can ride this with confidence, hold out until it's ready to go the other direction, and then close then. This information, because of my system, was all available to me with reliability, with all of the things ahead of time. No thumbsuck, no luck, no speculation. I knew something would happen with the elections, and I knew that it was going to be bullish if Trump won. That's exactly what happened here, and that there would be a quiet consolidation period just kind of before the elections, as well as some market slippage. It's all there in all my videos of late. I've literally called the market turn for turn with reason. And that's the difference, is that other guys out there, they just rely on these clouds and EMA switches and all this weird stuff, but they can't tell you why. They can't tell you why the RSI actually works, because it actually doesn't. And they can't tell you why Fibonacci numbers actually works. They can say it exists in numbers. In nature, and you see, look at a seashell, and you can see the Fibonacci spiral there and all this kind of rubbish. Great, but are you going to be able to rely on that from a time and price perspective, and from a trade perspective, the risk reward ratio, the levels where to put your stop loss? It's not likely. So this is something that ticks all the boxes, literally. And again, I'm able to call the price action ahead of time, well before it happens, turn after turn. And turn after turn is super significant, because the transitions between the turns is where we make our money. If you're not interested in learning my method and the way I do things, which would be crazy for me, because results speak for themselves and I've produced results back to back, then at least have the takeaway from this being that you need to have a system. And I've spoken about this of late, but it solves so many problems. You have no idea. A system that you can put your faith into, and by following it correctly, without skipping out the rules and all that kind of stuff, following it correctly, your experience in the world of trading becomes so much better, almost in every way. Please let this valuable information land in your experience, because believe me, I wish I had this when I started trading, because I would have prevented so much anguish, so much anxiety, so much pressure ahead of time if I had this. So this is experience offered for free, and with hope that you're learning from this. Make this your own and empower yourself, especially with this golden age of trading we've just been gifted now, with Trump endorsing Bitcoin, which is basically a financial system, as well as bringing back prosperity, draining the swamp, getting things back to the fundamentals of capitalism, and that is work hard and reap the rewards. And you got something like this, the work is there and the rewards are there to be reaped. I guess. Have a great day further, guys. Just last closing, I have closed my position over here, so this transition is done for me. If it goes a little bit further, which I don't see it going, it's not my problem. I'm okay. I rode the majority of this up here. So I'll be waiting to see what happens on the high time frame to see whether or not it's a good idea to open up a position and then write that down. But that's not for this video. Ciao for now.